sounds unique woven character, only referring to it really as the Leech's map. Project to mine and temper a mysterious resource known as a Ethereum thousands of years ago in the First Era. Eventually, whoever efforts to work with Ethereum broke down, and nearly the entire race went to war with each other over the failed project. And while the Chuan did make Second Era, after which it fell into the hands of barbaric Reachmen, the predecessors for the Force War, who took over the city and ruled it as their own kingdom. Over the next few decades, these barbarians ruled over Mordor as tyrants. The king was known as the despot of Mordor, and he was an active worshipper of Daedra and connected to many famous necromancers, such as Anamarco and Sun. Eventually, in the late Second Era, Tiber Septim would enter the picture and conquer Mordor as well as the rest of Tamriel, and annex the city into his province of Skyrim, where it's mostly remained ever since. I say mostly because during the Empire's Great War with the Ultimate Dominion, it was briefly retaken by the Force War for like 2 years. It's now a far cry from the tiny village of Markarth side you saw in the and I'd say that's changed, because it's largely for the better. Show that the brief. Consulpo is an elderly older conqueror who set up practice in Markarth's Understone Keep, and is notably Skyrim's premier important researcher. He spent the last few years relentlessly excavating parts of Markarth's ruins, digging up all sorts of ancient weather artifacts and studying the city's history. The Jarl and Markarth's ruling elite have largely just given Conselmo free rein to study whatever he pleases. They pay him a salary, give him a place to live, and even provide him with an entire cohort of guards to keep him and his research safe. These endless resources and an already extensive knowledge of the dwarves have allowed Conselmo to quickly become the world's forefront authority on ancient Eastfolk. Anyway, within Conselmo's personal quarters, one can find a fascinating artifact he discovered deep in Markarth's ruins. A strange two-sided stone with a different inscription on each side of it. One is a paragraph in Dwarven, and the other inscription is a paragraph written in the Falmer language. Both are actually the same paragraph. They're just written in two different languages. Now, during the Eastfield quest line, when we have to translate sections of a notebook written in Falmer, we'll indeed have to visit the stone and use it to help us decipher the text of the notebook. However, we never get to find out what this stone itself actually says. The game never tells us. Well, thankfully, some people within the community got to work trying to break the code themselves. And believe it or not, it wasn't really all that hard. The Falmer's written language is incredibly similar to that of the ancient civilizations, which we don't totally understand, but we do have a lot of information at that point. And using what we know of alien, we've been able to translate the Falmer script, and this is what it says in English. Quote, and so it was that your people were given passage to our steam gardens, and the protections of our power. Many of your people had perished under the roaring and snow-throated kings of Edmora, and your wills were broken, and we heard you, and sent our machines against your enemies, to thereby take you under. Only by the grace of this weapon did your culture survive, and only by the 15-in-1 tones did your new lives begin. We do not desire vengeance, but we do not believe of our affection, which unbinds your bones to the earth before, and sets your final path to the kingdom of your new eternity. End quote. This appears to be a paragraph written by the Dwarves dedicated to the Falmer, or Snowflakes, just before they famously took them in to protect them from the North conquerors in the Millennium Era.
Kind of like my D pairing already. I'm not gonna lie, so I'm not gonna change anything.
This isn't just
But if your Iris did not make it, but also did.
right now, millions of people are fighting for their lives and the war is done. A war that has been raging for over 2 years now. Families have been transformed, and it's absolutely nothing forced to accept it in their
We all know the old story. Back in the Malefic era, Nords invaded from Avalon and drove the snow elves almost into extinction. In desperation, they begged the dwarves to take them into their underground cities. The Dwemer agreed, under the condition that the snow elves would eat a strange fungus and blind themselves. This seems to be what this paragraph is talking about. However, it also introduces a number of new concepts. Multiple times, the paragraph references what we call tonal magic. Basically, magic that travels through sound in a way. The dwarves mentioned the 15-in-1 tones. They talk about unbinding bones from the earth and setting people's final path to a quote-unquote music of new eternity. We don't quite understand exactly how the dwarves are using tonal magic, but it's clear they were embracing it. And while we've always known that the dwarves fed the Falmer some strange fungus to make them go blind, nowhere else in Skyrim is tonal magic ever really referenced in this relationship. So this is totally new. At the end of the day, though, unfortunately, we still don't quite understand why the Dwemer wanted the Falmer to eat that fungus. Did they want an army of goblin slaves? Were they trying to bring the Falmer with them wherever they went? Or unsure. At the end of the day,
Oh, they made the playoffs too.
And the dwarves are all gone. For Bullet Spot, many times before on this channel, I've talked about Skyrim Civil War, and how quite a lot of content was cut from it before Skyrim's official release. Originally, the Civil War was supposed to be a much larger scale affair, where the player was afforded considerably more control over how everything went. You would be able to lose battles, recruit giants, recruit more soldiers, lead raids. It was insane what Bethesda had planned. Unfortunately, so much of it got scrapped. Well, amongst all that scrapped content, Bethesda had also intended for players to have large-scale siege battles at every single old capital. Normally, Skyrim Civil War only affords us 3 sieges, the Battle of Whiterun, and the following siege in either Solitude or Winter. It's kind of never signed annoyingly. But there were going to be sieges everywhere, at Riften, Winterhold, Baldur's, all over the place. And Markarth was not the exception. The Battle of Markarth, if you sided with the Stormfronts, would have been just as big, if not bigger, than the Battle of Whiterun. It would have started with a valiant speech by Galmar Stonefist before you charged the city's gates. After overrunning the defenders, you have to force the Jarl and his entourage to submit and surrender the city. And afterwards, an incredible exchange would occur between Galmar Stonefist and Gondolimar. The city's Thalmor ambassador. Take a listen. Even more incredible is the fact that if the player sided with the Empire during this now cut version of Skyrim Civil War, it would have been possible for the Stormcloaks to capture Markarth for themselves. If that happened, the Empire would eventually have to siege Markarth too, and you would get to listen to another speech, this time by Legate Rika, and have to storm the gates all over again. It's insane. Sadly, this is a version of Skyrim's great conflict that we never got to see. But it is interesting to know what Bethesda originally had in mind for this great jockey for power. And finally, last on our list, Markarth's largest general goods store is known as Arthur & Sons Trading Company. Curiously, it's owned and operated not by a man named Harley, but his widowed wife, Lizbeth. Apparently, while it was founded by a man named Harley, character, who offers a request to go recover an old statue of Nibella that was recently stolen from her by those pesky Forsworn bandits. Overall, she looks to be a good character. But looks, well, they can be a bit deceiving sometimes. The merest stage request that tastes of death reveals that Markarth is actually home to a small host of cannibals years old, squarely holding on his foot. Imagine having cannibalistic feast over there. It's terrifying. Well, after the dungeon's been cleared out and we attend the feast, amongst the guests, we'll find none other than Lisbeth. Yeah, she's a cannibal the hero worshiper too. Even more horrifying, when spoken to, Lisbeth will say this regarding her husband.
You know, I said
Oh my, Arthur wasn't killed by the Forsworn or something. No, he was eaten to death. And Lisbeth isn't alone in their company. Also attending the feast will be Hockey Redon, the city's resident butcher and meat vendor, as well as Danny, the town's dog salesman. It's a terrifying conglomeration of seemingly otherwise good people. Oh man, I guess at the end of the day, some people in the city have quite a few skeletons in their closets. Or refrigerators, suppose. And with that, we're going. Supermarket roads continue for small spaces. Because many spend at 75% more smothered power. And with the deductible head, eating in the tight spaces is simple. Your minutes, supermarket roads, love it like that. 10 seconds before the whistle, and you think this is good enough to see that. For some of you, this may blow your mind. But Nikita Kucherov is 33 years old. What the hell? That feels so bizarre. For somebody like me, who got into hockey around the 2011-ish days, because of the Canada Finals and the Vancouver Canucks and what was going on over there, Nikita Kucherov was always one of these guys who came into the NHL as a young player and was able to grow and prosper to the heights of heights and score at the top of the league, all while doing so at a very young age. I mean, Nikita Kucherov first broke 100 points in an NHL season in 2017-18. He was 25 years old back then. Now he's 33. That's ridiculous. But Nikita Kucherov is always going to stand out as one of these top-tier guys that the Tampa Bay Lightning were able to grab out of nowhere. 58th overall draft pick, second round, 2011. He was a guy that inevitably found himself in Quebec, where he was dominant for the run around the Huskies, and then he made the Tampa Bay Lightning the very next year, quickly becoming a point-per-game player, and quickly eclipsing the 100-point mark by season. Gave Kucherov a shortened 2019-20 year where he was on pace to getting 100 points, and then gave him a season where he genuinely didn't play a single game in the regular season, and then another year where Kucherov misses half the year,
Yeah, sure, he wins back-to-back Stanley Cups and he's winning for a point per game in the playoffs, but it's very shortly after that that he continues scoring 100-point seasons like it's nobody's business. He is one of the only players to have scored 100 assists in a year, and this previous year he had 130 total points in 76 games played, 44 goals and 86 assists. Nikita Kucherov 8 points away from another Art Ross trophy, but then again, how many more of those does he need? He's got 3 already. Nikita Kucherov is one of the best players in the world. And even though he's 33, he's still kicking, he's still doing what he needs to do, all at the right old contract of $9.5 million a year, which goes on until the end of 2027. But with that said, let's talk about a contract that Nikita Kucherov may or may not have entertained 10 years ago. As was discussed by former Florida and Barkov, Huberdeau, Ekblad, Trocheck, and Riley Smith before the summer of 2016, because they were prepared to offer sheet Nikita Kucherov. Oh boy, could you imagine that? Could you imagine if back in 2016, and everybody talks about the summer of 2016, yeah, it was great. It was my grade 10 summer, and it was literally the best summer of my life. But everybody talks about 2016 as the glory days of life in general. But could you imagine how different things would have been if Nikita Kucherov signed an offer sheet with Florida at that time? Back in 2015-16, Nikita Kucherov scored 66 points in 77 games. He was coming off of 2 playoff runs, and he was around or above a point per game. And in this time frame, I mean, he was 22 years old-ish, drafted 2011, so give it 5 years, 22, 23. Obviously, there was already a talented player here in Tampa Bay. Getting 60 points in this era in the NHL was no joke. But the fact that Florida had the foresight to think about this dude and say, yeah, that guy might be a problem, and he's in our division. Let's sign Barkov, let's sign Huberdeau, let's sign Ekblad, Trocheck, and Riley Smith to long-term deals because we want to open ourselves up to getting this dude on an offer sheet. That move shook the league. Like, we had such a long break in the National Hockey League from offer sheets ever since Shea Weber. And then Sebastian Aho, like the gap is so long. I don't even know, is there another offer sheet in between that? Let's just Google that. NHL offer sheet history. Here, list of NHL players who signed an offer sheet. Guy Lafleur, Larry Robinson, Craig Simpson, Ron Tubnut. Oh, Ryan O'Reilly. Okay, yeah. Ryan O'Reilly was a year after Shea Weber. But then, we had 6 years of a gap between Ryan O'Reilly and Sebastian Aho. And then consequently was on following therapy and Carlson. We do not know if this one will be matched just yet. But when you think about it, Nikita Kucherov, he was coming off of that 60-point year, and the contract that he actually did get from Tampa Bay and Steve Yzerman saw him making $4.7 million a year for 3 years. That's it. 3-year deal, ages 23, 24, 25. He ended up getting 100 points in back-to-back campaigns, including an Art Ross in 2019. And then he got that big raise, $9.5 million a year. When you look at this contract that he got, this $4.7 million AAV deal, it was signed on October 11th, 2016. So Steve Yzerman took a while to get this contract pen to paper, and there would have been a pretty big opportunity for a team like Florida to step in there and be like, hey, Nikita, you want $8 million a year? How about you come here? We can give you that money, and you can come over to the Florida Panthers, and you can betray your Tampa Bay team.
Whether you're a contractor, event planner, or business instructor, your business is protected. Your business is trusted by 100,000 business services from coast to coast. Get business insurance starting from $11.
Nikita ultimately did not do that. And if
ride home, which is the most amazing burger. For me, chicken burger is in the bread. So you've got the chunk, you've got the bacon ground beef, and you've got the brisket. First things first, season. Once you season them, combine them together. We're binding this together with a touch of egg that sticks it together, and more importantly, try and get this done the day before. Give this done the day before, set them in the fridge so they stay nice and firm. That way, they don't fall apart on the grill. Get that grill nice and hot. Now, this is one of my most desired for my first that's your cell. And my burger, that's how I hold with the bacon. Now, let the meat relax a bit. Don't take it out of the drink ice cold, otherwise it's drying outside and all of it. Grill, piping hot. A little chunk of oil on the bread. Started. It's very great. Make sure to put those rolls around the edge of the burger. You know, don't season the burger after it's cooked, but make sure you roll that seasoning around the outside and pop up all that seasoning. Gently, roll the burger and then on. I know what's fine. Normally, first way, what's the burger? Oh, it's good. It's good. It's less than popular. The more you use it, the more time you are working the burger. And then go, oh, that's not bad. Oh, it's bad. That's incorporates the heat. It's a great feel of the bottom. So come to serve burgers, they don't stick. Every time you stuff burgers on a grill, one chicken. Now you want put a sear, put that lid down, really good. Now, alongside the burger, we're toasting the bun. Why do you toast the bun? You toast the bun, it's soft. It doesn't work with a soft bun. Every time you have a burger, the bun is wet. Toast that bun, it gets nice and crisp, and it protects the burger. So, salt, pepper, a little sugar, some oil, and nice and toast those buns. Back up, then, quick, in, toast those buns. What goes well with the burger? With cheese, tomatoes, lettuce, a little bit of mustard mayonnaise, and then meat, yeah, good onion. Go in here, spice them. Light chili milk, salt, pepper. Fresh grilled onions on a burger. That's delicious. Easy to do. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, hot. Chili milk. Hold like that. That's how you start breaking up. And then go. Hold up. Wow. It's great. You can play that. Okay? It's a long question. A busy grill is a delicious grill. So, you don't cook the burger and then set it up your dressing. You get set up first. And when the burger's cooking, everything's done first. The really important thing. Why? Because the burger's going to be old. And also you're looking at it like a guy. Look at that. Kind of like this one. Five of the inside.
The Monday next start channel event is on. Score great offers on the Saturday month with the back of the limited session class with top warranty. Visit your local Monday to receive it.
Now, I like burger restaurant. They have flavors. It's great. We're going to make a ridiculous butter. Today, it's got a nice rush with the butter on the burger. So that flavour underneath, it sort of caramelizes the butter, puts this wonderful flavour on top. So, just nice rush. A little bit of butter on there. It makes the burger so tasty. Now, when it becomes with more chefs, what can you do? Make a ribeye butter, a chipotle butter. It's the basis, a basic recipe for a burger. So you use it to sort of making the road. But like Russell, butter, butter. Still excited. Look at this. Goes down to the oh, got a right hand flat in there. It was butter. Right, open please. Hold on. Yeah. 3.5 to 4 minutes. Start. Now, once we come off the grill, I can see them on the grill. What a distance. First part of the season, it's got just inside that burner. Last part of the season, literally just don't take them off really well. Now it's starting to start. Here's the bed. Okay? That's the blast of the burner. Where's the place? Big top, big bed. Big. And bam. Over the center. Just spin it back and start to get out. 36 for the burners come off. To the front line. Nice. Really get it seat on top. So, top. So there. On. 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 Remember, the seats underneath that, so the flame inside is going to be incredible. First off, a little touch. And then, it's a large muscle. On. On. And just the top as well. Sometimes you see, yes, now I've opened up the road, they're trying to put ketchup in there. Once you've assembled the road, you can't really break it down. You just put it there. That eats it nice and whole. You want this to be on the side. Now, you may legs off. From there, take the lettuce, just lightly snap the lettuce right down in half, and sort of manipulate the lettuce where it sits next to on the bun. Snap it, break it, and form the lettuce. The same shape as the bun. Snap it, break it, gently push it down. From there, a nice slice of tomato. After that, I'll give you a tea. Salt and pepper on that tomato. Lightly seasoned. You go. And look, from there, much more. Yeah, up. Down. Here's where it goes up. Look at that. That. Different. On she goes. And it's like sunset. A lot of them. What's that? What do you need to do? Right? That's good. On she goes. How do we elevate it to the board? How do we take that to another level? Look at this. Absolutely exciting. Get on. Caroline. Brilliant. Later. I'm not a big fan of raw lemon in the burger. It's hard, too acidic, and it blows the flavour of that later content. And then look, from there, on, down, over, on, down, on, down, and look. Watch what happens. Look, that's it. Side, 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 side. Down. Half over the shoulder. Good. Loose. Loose. That is why I have more than 15 households anywhere in America. Where you're on a table like this, wander next door, you smell those delicious burgers. You feel it going and keep yours down. Trust me, that is a burger to die for. Bon appetit.
Yep, that's it for a round. Chicago, common regard. Wow, 3 power play goals. Shit.
What about that's there? I didn't know that. The way that what I'm not lying, you know. They don't talk about I got lines in there. I got the whole thing of it. I said it was
Holy fuck, we dominated them. I feel like that's dominant too. Like Grace. 80 started the end of first. Sanitize toward coming back in, I guess. Yeah, it can be casual in that fuck blue hour. He played it, but I'll probably put him in the net. Oh shit. Come on, guys, score for 3 unanswered.
Scary stuff. It only cooks. But it bugs.
Okay, it's Taco have one bad game. Taco have one bad game. One bad game, that's it. I have faith in him to get his through.
We've got you back office. So you can get back to running your business and get.
I have faith in him. Ooh, mighty veneers.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Benson.
And welcome to the ancient city of Bolton, one of Skyrim's southernmost old capitals. The lands of this area are dominated by lush, thick forests and the beautiful
Right,
Lake
Winchester, oh my
Shore.
god. He's been playing
Despite
really well as a
some of the
Paramount
most
center as
breathtaking scenes
too.
available in the Elder Scrolls V, both its role in the events of the game are shockingly minor. Save for being the setting of a couple of side quests, the city nor hold offer much of any narrative significance. Furthermore, a lack of walls or defined architectural characteristics
Mighty veneers. I think this is up from the Tom Spike.
Nonetheless, while I may have gotten a bit of a developmental cold shoulder by Bethesda, I can assure you there's more to poetry than just a pile of buildings or nearby hiking trails. And indeed, it's a hub for some of the Elder Scrolls' most fascinating lore, if you're willing to dig beneath the brush. Ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be taking a look at 5 things you probably never knew about the town of Bolton and the surrounding region in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Starting off, the great Cyrodiilian Empire, which today reigns over much of Tamriel, was actually originally formed here in Bolton. Okay, so this one's pretty fun. So, when you think of what Skyrim looks like,
Fuck, you got a hat trick.
chances are you think of this image. A large northern kingdom of 9 villages, each administered by a local jarl, and all born with a single high king. While this has been true for most of Skyrim's recorded history, over time things did change quite a bit, as various kings that
See?
gained their lost territory.
Taco had about that game.
There's even a brief moment when the High King of Skyrim controlled most of neighboring Hyra and even bits of Morrowind. Anyway, in the late Second Era, just before the rise of Tiger Septim, the lore suggests that something happened that caused the region of Skyrim to be incredibly divided. So much so that it seems many of the holds became their own independent kingdoms. The history we're provided by the games is purposely vague. We're not sure if the kingdom of Skyrim was entirely dissolved for some reason, and every place it ruled just gained independence, or if maybe it still existed, but there was just no strong central government left to keep things in line. Nonetheless, during this time period, Bolton too gained independence. And during this period of self-rule, a man named Hurricane was crowned king of Bolton, and he sought to expand his territory. Eventually, as the Second Era came to a close, the king invited a mysterious man, today known as Tiger Septim, may have heard of him, or Talos, to become a general and lead his army. Talos proved to be insanely skilled, and soon Hurricane was able to conquer most of Cyrodiil and even all of Skyrim in the name of Bolton. With so much land under his belt already, the man decided he wanted more. He wanted to take over all of Tamriel. So in the final days of the Second Era, Hurricane crowned himself the Emperor of Tamriel in the recently captured Imperial City, which he decided to become his new capital. And thus, the Third Cyrodiilian Empire, one that still stands today, was founded. Sadly, Emperor Hurricane would be killed mere months after his coronation in a mysterious fire that burned down his palace. Left without an heir, General Tiger Septim swept in and declared he would take up the throne next. As you might imagine, there's a lot of internal debate within the community regarding whether or not Hurricane's death was a true accident, or really just a power grab by Talos. Alas, General Emperor Septim would go on to fulfill the dream of taking over Tamriel and building a dynasty that would stand the test of time. And so, the empire we all know and love has appeared in just about every single Elder Scrolls game, all right truths, right here, in this raggedy little province. Next on our list, With today's crash course of history over, let's talk a little bit about the place in modern times, and specifically, focusing on one resident after the only Canadian in their Great War against the Empire. But after that conflict, Bruno opted to choose a life of peace and pacifism. Now, he openly talks about how much he regrets serving the battlefield, and all of his innocence he wish he didn't hurt. Today, he only desires to start the word of Arche, and hopefully find some redemption to his past. Well, he offers players a short bench run. To recover a journal status that he recently lost for wandering around the cave. For some. If he can go get that book back to him, he promises to pay you handsomely. This mission is again about as generic as fetch quests get. The book spawns in a random dungeon, go get it, clear out any enemies, and return a free reward. It's all over there. But, while you have the journal, you can open it up and sneak a peek at its contents, which is rather ominous. Most of the journal entries are void and stuff, but in the final paragraph, written on the 20th of Sun's height, literally just a month before Skyrim begins, the middle talks about strange visions. I'll just read it to you guys. Quote, 20th of Sun's height, dreams of the war again. But this time something different. I was leading a small band of ordinary battle mages on a mission deep in the heart of Imperial territory. We had drawn near our target, a supply depot outside of Shadenholm, with the sky studded with darkness. A great shadow passed over us, and there was a roar, so the building chilled my blood. Something was flying overhead, so huge and so dark as to blot out the sun. The dream then changed. I was steering boldly, performing a service for someone who had just passed away. Though I don't recall who. From the corner of my eye, I saw a stranger approaching. I turned to look, but the shadow came again, and the roar, and then I awoke. Now that I was once in a dream, I can't help but wonder, was it a dragon? Why would I dream of such a creature when I've never seen one? It seemed so real at the time, but now the memory is fading. What it means, I cannot say. Probably nothing.
Keep going. Keep earning points with Wyndham Rewards.
End of quote. Brunil was having dreams about dragons just before the events of the game kicked off. It's even possible that the stranger may have even been an allusion to us, the dragon builder. I did quite a bit of research on Windows entry, and it doesn't seem to connect to any quests or plot. It's just a one-off foreshadowing of things to come. What caused Brunil specifically to receive these dreams, and no one else, remains a mystery in its own right. Maybe his god Arche was trying to send a warning. Whatever the narrative significance, it's a neat detail by Bethesda. Coming to the end of the three, while the residents of this capital may largely seem relatively friendly and neighborly with each other, it would appear that behind the scenes, the town's two biggest businesses, Kraken General Store and the Dead Man's Ring Tavern, are locked in a heated and potentially even blood-drawn rivalry. So the relationship I'm about to describe isn't one ever mentioned in any dialogue, quests, or notes. No. Instead, everything we know about it comes from tags in Skyrim's game files, and potential radiant game encounters. Dead Man's Ring is owned by Valga Vinsky, who also serves as the primary agent, and manages the place for the other game, Nod, who owns three conservatories. For some reason, in the creation kit, she is flagged as an 18 Sola, the owner of the Great Pine Hill, also stolen. And not only does he pay her back, but Sola also has a full relationship with her employee, Nod. If the player ever kills Sola or Valga, the owner may send you a letter thanking you and providing some fun too. Likewise, Killinari can also provoke Solaf to send you the same letter. This is made really weird by the fact that Solaf often goes into the Dead Man's Drink and is served by the girls, without any incident. They look like good friends. Could it be that both business owners are only pretending to like each other but secretly probably much hatred. Maybe they feel having the other's business around is hurting them, and they can pick up emotions. I guess the only conclusions we can draw from this are to be weary of Fulford's business community. There's for time and the world cannot stand still. Change is the law of life. And those who only look into the past or the present are certain to miss the future. Are you three dumbasses listening? I said are certain to miss the goddamn future.
Oh, sorry. I missed that. God damn it, Barry, this young mental crisis was the last straw. We almost blew ourselves up. Now we're fighting you here today.
In good faith.
In good faith. The storm doesn't mess out. If that's the case, then why the hell is he here? He lost the damn election.
Huh? What? What are you talking about? Where the hell are we? As a wise man once said, forgive your enemies, but remember their names. I couldn't say the same for Joe, though. This moron can't even remember what freaking day it is. You hear that? It sounds like someone's breaking in. And it's just a storm, you dick. Just sit your ass down before you give yourself a hernia. Oh my God!
It appears the Pentagon has been breached.
Zombies. Gentlemen, at times like these, our capacity to retaliate must be and has to be massive to deter all forms of aggression. Now hurry the hell up and grab one of these guns.
Oh. Dibs on the ring gun. Yeah, you fucking would go for that, wouldn't you? So, any last words, Donnie?
There, Donnie. Any inspirational words for our humble crew? Just shut the fuck up and don't go down on round one.
But our system, the rule of law, is built for that. Justice, fairness, and equality are acknowledged immediately, and their enemies will forget.
What the hell? What happened?
I have zero idea. Hey, where the hell did my ray gun go?
I could say the same about my shotgun. All I've got is a pistol.
He's our firepower is the only thing missing. Where the hell is Joe and George?
It would appear that they must have got warped someplace else. Maybe they ended up on one of the lower levels.
That could be the likely possibility. Looks like the power got knocked out due to the power surge in the storm. Let's head on down to the lab and get it back on.
Just how the hell did an outbreak occur this quickly? Like, honestly.
Who knows? But judging from the looks of things, it would appear that we're the only ones left.
Those two morons better still be alive. I swear to God.
You really know how to show much faith in your friend's survival.
I'm sure they can look after themselves. Hey, what the hell is this gumball machine doing here? Oh, God! That tastes awesome!
We don't have time to be eating candy. They're breaking through the fucking windows.
Then shoot the sons of bitches! I don't feel all too good about killing a fellow American, but these guys aren't leaving us much of a choice.
Buddy, they're already dead. Just flush out the fact that they were people once and just put them down.
Yeah, I know. Say, what's with the chalk noise? What? This thing just spat out a gun!
Holy shit! This is awesome.
So not only do we have weird tasting gumballs, we've got wall weapons that appear out of thin air. This is getting stranger by the second.
So, what? This is like a video game or something?
Well, of course it isn't. This is real life.
Who's to say this isn't some fucked up reality that we got transferred to? I mean, things couldn't have gotten this bad that quickly.
So you're telling me you think that only us two got sucked into some corrupted world that's overrun by zombies? Yeah, right.
Hey, I'm just spitballing like you here. I mean, just think about it. Because look at this. I see number 3 on that desk over there, and it's next to JFK's photograph. There's got to be some significance to that.
Fine. I mean, I don't have any better ideas, so I'll just go along with your plan. Let's just head on down and get the power.
Hey, Donald, I cleared the barricade.
Well then, impressive stuff. Wait, where the hell did it go?
It just floated up with the fan. This is freaking me out tremendously.
This is all sorts of wrong. Like this goes beyond anything logical. How much we betting it's even worse down here?
I mean, it's probably just as bad down to the above. And there doesn't seem to be a lot down here.
For now, anyway. Yo, what the fuck? The hell kind of experiments what are they doing down here? Fuck no. But good stuff pulling the switch. Is that another one of those gumballs? How strange.
Indeed. This one has a guy shooting a dart at his load. I wonder what it could mean.
My friend, is known as anywhere but here.
What? Who the hell was that?
I have many names. Well, honestly, you needn't worry about that for now. Ironically, I am also anywhere but here.
So, you care to explain just what the hell this place even is? Because it's clearly not of our own reality.
You are a clever one, aren't you? Impressive. But to answer your question, yes, this is not in your own work. To get back to your domain, you need to trigger a set chain of events. Things might get tedious, of course. But as long as you follow my instructions, I can get you home.
Why the hell would we even trust you? We don't even know who you are.
Christ, Mount Montour, sir.
Just always I see Donald. You must call me anything. Dr. Monty.
Dr. Martin? Huh. Why does that sound familiar?
It doesn't matter. What matters now is that the candidates you have in your hand. Each one of these has their own unique effects. They're not exactly normal, per se. There's a specific device you must acquire that is the key to your freedom. That is where this candidate comes into play. Once you consume it, it will transport you to any random location in the general area. Chances are it will transport you to where one of the parts are located. The others, one is more or less laid around somewhere down here. The other one, that last is more or less show its face at some point in time. You'll know when he's around. Once you see him,
Kill him? We aren't murderers, buddy.
How bold of you to say that?
Stop off now.
remember this box. Just gather the parts and craft the weapon.
Okay. Okay. Jesus. So what else are you doing?
Because a liquid device which resides inside the office used in the internet for usable participants. Get in there. You must activate all the DEFCON switches. You will arrive at teleport.
All right then. Seems simple enough.
Excellent. I'll contact you soon. Best of luck, my friend.
It's never dealt with time. Maybe we use it in the garden. But the best thing to do is recycle things. Retired. Here's something. Oh, God, you want to get home? Just activate the last switch. And all right, then. If you say so, Mike.
This better not kill us, I swear to God.
That's a fair job.
Hey, yo! What the hell is this?
Once you have enough essence, you can place your weapons inside of this contraption to increase their fire. Prepare onto the task at hand. Should be a hacking device inside this room somewhere. And I would find it will open the door to the unleashes the whole.
I didn't want to come off as rude and cut you off mid-sentence, but I already found it on the table.
I actually respect that you have answers. It saves me wasting any more words on the warehouse. So you know, wasting time is is the time. So I'll give you a sign. I have quite a bit of power when it comes to the human consciousness. So I shall bless you with knowledge on what this moment is. Call it a debate.
Well, I'll be damned. You really want to tell, Monty. We appreciate it. Huh? The hell is this doing here? It just gave me a ray gun? Oh, my prayers have been answered.
This pistol isn't doing jack shit. I might just upgrade it and see what happens when I get the chance.
I mean, there's some kind of magic box down in the lab that spits out guns. It's pretty good.
Hold that thought. This must be that thief coming for us. Let's stand above and blast the bastard when he appears.
There he is. Shoot his ass. He just took numerous shots from a ray gun. What kind of monster was that guy?
A particular knowledge. You have been in the world for the rest of the time. And that's just kind of an added life. You don't find friends.
You pistol? Oh, fuck yeah!
People coming to hit me. I'm going to stick with my ray gun for now.
You don't use that machine by the telephone. It has birds, you can send it very good.
No shot? Now isn't that something? Holy shit! They shoot out explosive projectiles. And I just got a minigun from a weird floating object! I'm in heaven!
After the I hope you're enjoying the carnage. Now, let's get on with hacking those switches. The longer
Looking forward to, and then look, you guys, I actually think they'll be there, because I don't think any of us are expecting to get a part of it. I don't think. But let's get to the preview for next year's free agent class instead of 5. You know, again, let's see some players before we get to the top 10. Let's guess this list, because as now, the free agency class is about to switch some depth. Not all of you guys will actually make it, but if they do, it's a pretty good option. We got Rowdy, the line, and the potential players. Then Cindy, we got John Marino, who's all good in the middle, right on the middle pair team. Lots of routes, well, we talked to the free agency, that's a powerful set. David Oscar has had Evan Lanker a couple of years for Carolina, was great in the top run as well. He's a massive target. Their striker isn't up their name, but still, he's a power play, resilience, and scoring. He's going to give you that big stuff when you need to run as well. You need to close the list as well. But the offense, pretty solid. He's an average quite good at each status. 3. You got a pretty lucky with that 3 forwards out there. They're all with all the offense in the world. $5 million in the same field, but still to get the strongest start and get those goals. Was great in the second half. The best key in that second half. And also Tyler Block, who has a great reputation with Boston. This last year, 5 points, 30 goals. It's really on the radar. And 30 goals, 58 goals. It's always we could get in at center. That was on the series when we get paid. Especially going for $4.75 million. I think he's off at the end of the 1 year. We're getting around $7 million or so in our official. Hold on for the deal. Let's get into the actual top 10 free agents that will be in next summer. And I'm being started with these 10 best free agents for next year, and all the goals that are on my list. And that's Kraken starter John Hughes. Now, there are other goals that have been pretty interesting options like Alex Lyon. You guys did have a good season this last year, but I think the Kraken class is rather yet again. They're done fixing it extremely well. At 32 years old, Gibson got his start and get back in his first year. After going to be back at the league start for Anaheim, and thought would be very successful. The first half was really a highlight for him, and the second half kind of petered off. But that whole run for the second half, so I think the only free agent goal for the next year that you could really want as your starter and feel comfortable with it.
Peyton Krebs.
I feel like the way that the trade is heading, I could easily see.
Fuck you, Mershon.
Next up at number 9, you go to Scout Kraken forward Jared McGinn.
Oh, Shane Wright.
Likely to actually get free agency, especially considering that Seattle is in a similar position to Detroit, and they're the game will be getting up there today. Will be 31 by the time that free agency ends. He's been able to put himself in the goal scoring threat, even though the injuries to the back is off here. He'll pop 4 goals in 42 games. Not that. I think he's going to have to insulate it with a bit more of a playmaking talent. That goal scoring up.
We are just about to run the puck here in overtime. What a time for you to tune in if you're just joining us here now. We are in next goal territory now. Who's going to step up and be the hero? Passes it over for the win. And it's scooped up along the wall by the Bears. Pops up at the stop. Hammerson from the point. Whoa, how about that for sacrifice?
Well, PK had to sacrifice, and I love the way that he gets out there aggressively and makes sure that that shot does not get to the net.
Krako's got the puck down his own end. Tries to get it over to Tolvanen. Here's a shot. That's blocked by Bobrovsky. Goaltender hangs on to the whistle.
Taking a shorter term and still wants next free agency and to go to a contender. He could be traded at next year's deadline 100% as well, but it could be touching free agency and taking his last big contract in the NHL. And I'll be honest, even though the age is a consideration, in terms of pure AAV, I feel like he's getting way more than $4.5 million, especially if he has another 70 points a season.
He's been on a tear lately with the point streak, and he's generating a ton of offense for his team. It doesn't matter whether it comes in the form of apples or goals. This guy's doing it all on the offensive end.
That's why
Seattle's got the puck inside the offensive zone. And a great save.
Well, a nice save by the
Yeah,
goaltender, and even better is that he
looks like
reattaches
cool.
the puck
That,
to the
what's
corner
that,
to
Pence?
safety.
Trying to clear it
That's
away.
the $40 for the reason, bro.
Line clearing attempt there.
Yeah, it's a great
Number
defensive
cross
play.
by
You got to be
three.
strong on your stick. You got to know where everyone
Save
is.
a
And
puck
let's
goal.
face it, coach knows exactly who's out there at this time of the game for that very reason.
Danny Hyman.
Move quickly
Hyman.
into the attacking area.
Wow.
Nice job to escape the zone. Time running out with this man advantage. Here we go. And he takes the feed.
Pellets almost ready to get to the chance.
Saved it! Oh, what a save! Can it go? Transition zone to draw this man advantage. Beniers wins it. They'll go to work now on the attack.
Oh, take it.
Shuts him down. Power play expires and what a blown opportunity here in overtime.
Oh, that's tough, James. You have a chance to end the game, and instead it's going back and forth. Really gave your opponent momentum.
Under siege and finally grabs that one and covers up for a whistle. A big draw looming here in the offensive zone. Seattle's going to start the puck in their own end. Slides the puck to Benson. Shot! And he's able to hold on one.
You don't make the save if you're not dialed in and focused. Is exactly what he is. He's following the puck and just makes that save. It's incredible, really. You just got to be athletic to be able to react that quick.
In front of the net, the goaltender covers up for a whistle on the play. This is a face-off opportunity for one here inside the offensive zone. Markov's got it. Now they'll look to see what they can do with it offensively. Goaltender covers up shot to the face. We're on the line here in this offensive zone face-off. Florida's won the draw inside the offensive zone. Now let's see what they can do with it. Solid hit on the play, and that knocks the puck off his stick. Tackle's got it in the defensive end. And not much on that one.
Never see ever difficult to defend. Hey, James, I mean, so difficult when you're shoving and doing everything you possibly can to move separately from the puck. But his core strength and his balance is certainly the victor as he takes this one to the net.
Officials are in position, and both teams are getting ready as they get set for another face-off here. Puck is dropped, and he
Oh, so cool. That face-off draw.
dropped him in the open ice. Moves it quickly over to the label. Takes a shot. Denied by the goaltender. Looks to set up the point now. Session places the body. Quick pass to Horsley. And it goes off the clear in front. Stopped by the goaltender, getting a piece of that one. Pompeo lugging the puck. Here's a short pass to Stevenson. From off the wall and onto his stick. They gain the offensive zone from the middle. And he'll off to play the puck here. Big stick save by the goaltender. Wright's gaining momentum. Quick shot. Times the dot. And there's a
Oh my God, hello.
Man, is he ever quick on his feet, anticipating the play. Excellent reflexes. He's saving his team right now.
fires it. Oh, he got a piece of it to keep it out.
Well, this goalie deserves a highlight back. I mean, he's made many huge saves tonight that has given his team momentum, and it's about the timeliness of the save to sort of reset the momentum in a game and give your team an opportunity to win. That's exactly what he's done between the picks tonight, James.
Well, I wouldn't see, but without the awards, it's still doing great things. 74 points in 68 games last year. Just unfair stuff. If Ryan O'Reilly is aging like Supermarket Galaxy, then Crosby is aging like the finest one you've ever had in your life. It is astounding.
A big face-off here inside the offensive end. Florida's got it now. They'll go on the attack. Hammers a shot. Oh,
This is a much-needed reset for this team as they sustain zone pressure by the opponent.
Well, lining up here for the face-off after a great shift earlier.
Capitals are certainly in command, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a little stall at the face-off here to give the goaltender a little extra breather because he has been under siege and he potentially is going to see some messages.
Florida's got the puck in the defensive zone. Here they are on the attack. Shot! Off the target and a shot like that one back.
Seattle certainly has it going here, James. I mean, he is in the
what his game is, and still continues to have success. Even this last year wasn't as dominant for him. He was still pretty dominant. And I still feel like there's a bit of unfinished business there in Colorado. Even with the one Stanley Cup win, they've gotten so many great teams over the years that just haven't been able to get over the hump since then.
position to score, and he just misses the net.
The Kraken have the puck in the defensive zone.
Seattle's on the attack.
The lane is plugged up and that's about to go. Bobrovsky has opted to hang on to the puck for a face-off. A critical draw here.
Seattle's trying to start with the puck inside the offensive zone.
No time stop there. Gains the zone through the middle.
Seattle's gained
Possession along the boards. The Kraken have taken possession of their own end. Oh, look at this chance. And a poke check knocks the puck away. Taken by Kachuk. Puck picked up by Reinhardt. Florida's through center and now in the offensive end. Sends it out front. Takes the bonus. Oh, and a little sliver of it, and it stays out. Tries to get the puck over to Everly. Sneaks by the poke check. Looking to end it. And comes up with a huge save. Sends it down low. It's passing it over to kick it over to his teammate. Along the boards, they battle for the puck back and forth.
Morrison.
Seattle's got a hold of it against the wall.
That's shits it. Oh my god.
We all start really high. Before we go, I want to go through 5 guys I think will actually make it to free agency and July 1st next summer, and the best players out of that crop. Because let's be honest, a year before free agency, it always looks fantastic, and then half the top end guys re-sign, and then it just looks like the rest of the time. But for the guys that I actually see going to July 1st, I did want to include Pavel Zacha, who I think is an interesting center option for next year's free agency. 30 years old, but still doing great things, even though some of that has been repelled by a cost.
Through center along the wing. Great heads-up play in the neutral zone by Larson. Florida's got it in their own zone. Puck fired in deep, and they'll go for a change. Works it across to Tolvanen. We'll get a face-off after the puck stays covered up.
Well, we all know in playoffs that the ice closes up quickly. It can feel real small out there, and so you got to find ways to create your space. And that's a huge cheat right there, sending a message to try and open up ice and open up space.
A big draw looming here in the offensive zone. Premiers wins the face-off at his own end. Gets the puck in deep. The Panthers scoop it up along the boards. They put the puck into the offensive end. Taken along the chance in front. Oh, what a stop with the paddle.
Well, these are the saves when you know that the goaltender is dialed in, James. The ability to get to the top of the crease and be square to the shooter, that's a great save.
Center's lining up for the face-off toss here. Florida's got the puck after winning the defensive zone face-off. The Panthers take it across the blue line. Pad save with ease. The Panthers gain control of the puck. Picked up along the boards by Verhage. Makes the save, but barely with that one.
This is just great puck control to put the puck to the corner. No second shot opportunity.
Larson stick handling in his own zone. Out of midair, he swats it down to the ice.
The shitty times is these excuses. It's somebody from Larson.
Play to come up with the puck.
Go
The
anyway.
Panthers take it along the wall. Great defensive play to pick off the pass.
Any sort of middle of that play. Hopefully, it's forever. Anyway, jump right into James Field. I see on Instagram and Twitter. What is the move of it? No particular reason why. It was just a good enough. Anyway, that out of the way. I think you guys know the drill with this series by now. No further introduction. Kick back by Wolf Fire, pop up in the bottle of that latest honeycomb, and relax. As we dive right into yet another fantastic detail because still in this is the Elven Scrolls 5 Discovery, part of this season. Starting while attacking that powerful and crazy staff, according to the Dragonborn by Kier Goran, the dangerous prince of all things insane happened to be the quest, the mind of magic. The Wabajack is an especially fun and all-around wacky object to use. And its ability, monster that has a totally random effect, comes employed against the foe. Sometimes it hurts them, and sometimes it heals them, and sometimes it turns them into a friend that you never know who's gonna get. Well, if you want the Wabajack, it's not so reference in an anagram by the developers to the Gathering Rock. Now, this is good. Founded in the 1871 nonsense poem written by William Carey, titled The Jabberwock. The Jabberwocky poem itself was connected to Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland universe, which dealt with heavy themes of madness and insanity. Indeed, it seems that there was a lot of inspiration in Carroll's work when designing the quest around the world. Not only is there the Wabajack, but when you first meet the dangerous don't you have a in the middle of the world? Such an environment